Hi, I'm Kat Kalashkian for Live and Invest Overseas, and today we're talking everything you need to know about retiring in Greece. So, if you've been thinking about retiring somewhere with lots of sunshine, sea views, ancient history, and a cost of living that won't eat up your pension, then Greece could very well be the answer for you. So, let's break down everything that you need to know about what retiring in Greece is really going to look like, from visas and taxes to lifestyle costs and whether it's actually a good fit for you and your personality. So, first, let's remind ourselves why Greece is such a good option for retirement or expat life. So, it's quietly been a favorite retirement spot for Americans for many years now. There are an estimated 10,000 to 15,000 Americans living in Greece long term, full time. And that number has been steadily rising over the past decade or so. And when you add in the tens of thousands of Brits, Germans, French, and other Europeans who call Greece home, you've got a solid international expat location. So, why has Greece become such a popular retirement destination? Let's be honest, the Greek lifestyle, it pretty much sells itself. You've got over 200 inhabited islands and many more that are uninhabited if you care to go looking for them. Plus, mainland regions that range from beachy and relaxed to mountainous and dramatic. You can live seaside, in a historic city, in a tiny village where everybody knows your name. The climate, of course, is a huge draw. Greece has long, sunny summers, very mild winters, especially in the south and on the islands. Snow does exist, but you won't see it unless you're looking for it. Up in the mountains, essentially, or in the north. And then there's the sea. Greece has one of the longest coastlines in Europe, with crystal clear waters all around, swimmable beaches, and that iconic blue and white scenery that people dream about and that you see those beautiful photos of on social media. Plus, history here is everywhere, and this is a huge draw for many people, including myself. I'm a history buff. I am an art history major by education. So when it comes to the ancient temples, the Roman ruins, the Byzantine churches, you don't visit history here. You don't go looking for it. You trip over it on your way to get a cup of coffee in the morning. And then by that, I could very literally mean tripping over a cobblestone from the 16th century. Plus, Athens and Thessaloniki both have international airports with easy connections to the rest of Europe, North America, the Middle East. English is widely spoken in cities, tourist areas, and pretty much anywhere that expats tend to settle. Places like Athens, Thessaloniki, Crete, Rhodes, Corfu, the Peloponnese. However, having said that, Greece is a country of islands and villages through and through. So it's completely possible to live 5 minutes away from another expat and never meet them. Like anywhere else, the easy ways to build community here are through social media, through Facebook groups, WhatsApp chat groups, and just showing up to language exchanges, local cafes, hiking groups, neighborhood events, church events. And then, of course, there's the food, the delicious cuisine, the pace of life, the emphasis on family and community, the fact that people actually sit down to enjoy their meals or a cup of coffee. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to see why Greece keeps landing on the top of retirees' shortlists. So let's look quickly at the pros and then the cons. On the plus side, the cost of living can be very affordable, especially outside the main tourist hotspots. The Mediterranean diet is fresh, healthy, delicious, and proven to prevent against heart disease and Alzheimer's. You've got sunshine for most of the year. This is a relaxed, social culture that really values quality of life and connections with other people. The gorgeous beaches, islands, nature everywhere. Plus, the healthcare is solid and very, very affordable compared to the US. All right, so I promised you some cons. All I've talked about so far are the bright sides of Greece. And believe me, there are definitely drawbacks. But before I get into some of those cons about living in Greece and lots more info about how to actually achieve your dreams in Greece, I want to invite you to our Live and Invest in Greece workshop. This is a single day event where you can find out everything you need to know about relocating to or investing in Greece at our Live and Invest in Greek workshop, which will take place virtually on February 19th. So you can join us from the comfort of your own home, your office. If you're not able to join us live, you can replay afterwards. I am a huge longtime fan of Greece, and I will be hosting this event alongside my colleague, overseas property alert editor Sophia Titley, who's going to bring a lot of weight to the real estate conversation side of things during this event. And of course, we'll count on the help from our local experts in property, law, residency, and more, plus expats, people who have already been through this and know how difficult it can be, but also how rewarding it can be. So we'll walk you through all the important aspects of making Greece your home or your investment base. So I encourage you, please join us. It's a very low key. You can join from your computer. You can just listen to it in the replay, or if you join us live, you can ask your questions, send them into us via the little chat box, and we will reply in real time. So learn more about this one-day virtual workshop by clicking on that link on your screen now. So as promised, some of the downsides to life in Greece. So you'll have a much better experience if you can learn some Greek. You don't necessarily need to become fluent, but if you make an effort, and I won't minimize the effort to learn a new language and a new alphabet, the Coptic alphabet is quite an uphill battle. And so that is one of the drawbacks, but your life will be hugely enriched by your effort in speaking Greek. The summer heat can be intense, especially in July and August, and especially in the south or on the islands. This will be hot and humid and sweaty and not necessarily the climate that people love all year round. If you are interested in just living in the sea, then this could be a great place. But if you like to hike around, walk around, those might not be the best months for you. The bureaucracy, it is very Greek. So expect paperwork and lots of patience. I know that this is something that people say pretty much anywhere that anyone moves outside of North America. They say that the bureaucracy is the biggest uphill battle. And this is true whether you're talking about Latin America, Asia, or Europe. But I will posit that Europe has the worst bureaucracy. Everything is in triplicate. Everything must be translated, notarized, embossed. Everything has to be done in paperwork. Very little is done digitally. Very little is done online. So the bureaucracy in Europe, I would say, is some of the worst in the world. And in Greece, I've been told, I'm not actually an expat in Greece, but I've been told by the expats that we are in constant connection with there, that the bureaucracy there is a whole nother animal. In fact, in one of the villages where a couple of our expat retired couples live, they suspended their mail service. So they don't even have the ability to send or receive letters. They have to go to the next nearby town. That's a little bit of an extreme scenario, but you get my point. The bureaucracy is very much a different thing than you're used to back home. Tourist areas can feel very overcrowded in the high season, and this also has a big impact on how your home feels throughout the course of the year. It can feel like a completely different place for those high months and a completely different place during those low months when many businesses might close altogether. So, it's best to experience a lot of these places year round before you make any big commitment, because things can change drastically over the course of a year in a tourist heavy destination. So island living also can mean fewer services and slower logistics. And the time difference from North America can make staying connected much harder. So I am based in Paris, where we're already 6 or 7 hours, depending on daylight savings, from the East Coast. Add another hour to that because Greece is 1 hour further east than Paris. Then factor in the fact that I'm only talking about the East Coast. If you were talking about the West Coast plus daylight savings time, the time difference could be as much as 10 hours to talk to loved ones back home. So a little bit of a challenge there, trying to stay in touch with your family and friends. All right. Another factor about moving to Europe is the taxes. Everybody thinks they'll be taxed to death by moving to Europe. And Greece is actually one of the better scenarios for taxes in Europe. So if you become a tax resident of Greece, you're taxed on your worldwide income, which isn't ideal, but the income tax rates range roughly from 9 to 44%, depending on the income level. Again, not ideal. But here's where it gets interesting for retirees. There is a special flat tax program for foreign retirees specifically. rate. They offer the opportunity to use just a flat 7% tax on foreign income for up to 15 years. So that's a huge deduction when you factor in 15 years of living in Greece. And for many retirees, it's a massive incentive to come to Greece over any other country in the world, or at least in Europe. Property taxes in Greece are relatively low compared to most Western countries, and there is no inheritance tax between family members under certain thresholds. Greece has tax treaties with the United States and Canada, which helps avoid double taxation. And this is one area where certainly you should make use of a local tax advisor who's familiar with both the Greek and the US or Canadian side of things, as the case may be. All right, so when it comes to actually making the move to Greece, how can you actually live there legally? Do you need a visa? Yes, but Greece makes it fairly straightforward to get that visa. So the most common option that people avail of is the Financially Independent Person visa, the FIP visa, which is perfect for retirees essentially because all you need to do is show your passive income. It needs to be around 3,500 euros a month, which is about $4,000 depending on the exchange rate for a single applicant plus more for dependents. This visa gives you a 2-year residence permit, which is renewable every 3 years as long as you continue to meet those requirements. But there are also other options. There's a digital nomad visa. It has the same financial thresholds. And while I will point out, this is one of the higher income requirements, especially in Europe. In fact, it might be the highest that I know of off the top of my head. The caveat here is that though they require you to show that you earn this much money, you can absolutely live in many, if not most parts of Greece for much less than 3,500 euros a month. So it's worth keeping in mind that although the country wants you to show that amount, that's not necessarily the budget that you need to factor in. Greece also offers a golden visa. If you buy property worth at least 250,000 euros, it will be higher in higher demand areas. 250,000 is the lowest threshold, and that's really for rural, very underpopulated regions where they're trying to boost the property market and the population. But that golden visa does grant you residency with minimal stay requirements. So you don't necessarily need to be tax resident in Greece to have the golden visa. Again, these are the nitty-gritty details that don't make sense to get into on a video like this. But if you are interested, I encourage you to write to us at Live and Invest Overseas or to contact an appropriate residency or tax attorney who can help you with these things. But after 5 years of residency in Greece on any of these avenues, you can apply for permanent residency. And then after 7 years of that, you could apply for citizenship even. So you could get an EU passport, which is a huge, huge asset in today's world. All right, so who should consider retiring to Greece or moving to Greece as a digital nomad or a family or any other kind of expat scenario? Greece is ideal if you're dreaming of a slow, I emphasize slow, and sun-soaked retirement. There are very strong community ties throughout Greece, so this is also something that you should be prepared for. If you're the kind of New Yorker who relishes never knowing her next door neighbors, then this might not be the kind of environment that you want to be in because you will know all your neighbors. They will all know you. You'll need to talk. And more than just small talk, you'll get to know these people very well if you're living in their village. There's also the much lower cost of living than the average Western European country, so a great option for those looking to retire on a budget. If you love being outdoors, eating well, swimming in the sea, and living somewhere that prioritizes life over the hustle and the bustle, then Greece will fit you beautifully. History lovers, beach lovers, island lovers, this place really checks a lot of boxes for a lot of types of people. But if you need things fast, hyper efficient, and perfectly on schedule, Greece will test your patience. It might not be for you. I encourage you to see for yourself and see if you could support that kind of lifestyle there. For everyone else, Greece offers an incredibly rich, beautiful, and deeply human way of life that makes for a truly rewarding retirement. And again, for everything that you need to know about relocating or investing in Greece, come and join us for our single-day virtual Live and Invest in Greece workshop. It'll be taking place on February 19th. I will be hosting, as well as my colleague, Sophia Titley. We are both huge Greek proponents. We are huge fans of Greece. And along with ourselves, you'll have the added expertise of many service providers and expats currently living in Greece. I hope to see you there. Happy trails.